What's in the folder there?
My infidelity formula.
Your infidelity formula. And it works?
2 million people agree with me. And as a fail-safe, you break up after 6 months of dating. Statistically speaking, it's not safe to date for longer than that.
What if I could offer a way to prove your theory wrong?
I don't see how you'd be able to do that.
All we would need to do is find a group of people who've been in a relationship for longer than 6 months and give them an opportunity to cheat without getting caught.
What are you proposing?
I'm suggesting a little competition. What?
Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. I'm Matt, that's Christy. Boy, you guys owe us.
Oh boy.
We really did everyone a service and watched a movie called The Competition with Chris Klein and Thora Birch.
Yes, it's 1999 all over again.
We watched it.
So I made you watch it.
You made me watch it. You owe me. Everyone in the audience owes us.
Yikes. Yeah, so I do this radio show on Fridays quite a bit here in LA called Film Week on KPCC. It's one of the 2 NPR stations here in town. And part of the fun of it is that you watch everything that's opening in LA. Like you try to get to everything that's opening even on one screen. And so quite frequently I have to watch movies like The Competition, which will see the light of day for like a week on one screen and then it's gone. I felt like I could not possibly bear this burden alone. And so I asked Matt to watch it too. And he did, amazingly, he actually did. I'm amazed this movie exists. I'm amazed it got made. I'm amazed it is actually going to be shown on screen someplace where people can watch it. It is just baffling in every way. It's borderline incoherent along the lines of The Room. I mean, it's misguided and misogynistic like The Room. It also looks like shit like The Room. Anyway, it's about like a battle of the sexes, will they or won't they cheat kind of thing. And there's probably a trailer that can explain the incredibly complex plot. So take a look.
What is it? Competition? Best 3 out of 5 wins. Underwear is proof.
She wants you to go to her place to show her how to use gym equipment.
You know I'm a professional. Need to get your mind out of the gutter.
You're wrong about people. It's not that simple.
But it is.
Good thing this is almost over. You're turning into a regular gangster.
It's not over yet.
How does this movie exist? How?
So many jokes about movies like this. It's the kind of movie where this is the MST3K joke where at the end it's like, these aren't credits, those are indictments. This is a movie, this movie wasn't released, it escaped.
Also,
oh my God, this movie.
Yeah.
Right, I brought my dog to work today. Sabrina could write a better movie than this.
She could just pound it out with her
Exactly.
non-opposable thumbs.
Exactly.
Yeah, not to be confused with the 1980 piano competition, romantic drama, The Competition.
Right.
Starring Richard Dreyfuss and Amy Irving. That was actually good.
Yeah,
This is not, there are no pianos in this. This is not good.
One of my favorite, I can never think of Chris Klein seriously anymore because what Ebert said when he was in the Street Fighter movie, Chris Klein can't walk into a room convincingly. That is on display here.
Yeah, he was in various American Pie movies and Election. He was in one of the best Alexander Payne movies. No, he's not.
Between him and Thora Birch, who's got the higher forehead?
It's very strange. They have 8 heads. But you know, here's what bothers me is that no one here feels like a real person. This horribly convoluted and contrived thing that they put their friends through, this test they put their friends through of fidelity, is so cruel. Like they send like strippers to their friends to see, will my friend cheat on his fiance? And then they send underpants back and it proves this person's blog. And then she supposedly has millions of followers on her blog. And then, this is not a spoiler, she then gets a book deal out of this ridiculously cruel and awful competition. And the advance is 2 million. And then when they sense that she's like wavering,
3 million.
They up it to 3 million. Who would pay $3 for this shit? It's amazing to me. Like no moment in this movie exists in any reality that you'd recognize.
Right, so the story, such as it is in this movie, is that Chris Klein is this hotshot lawyer. He's trying to be, he's wanting to get a partnership with the lawyer at the law firm he's at. And one of the partners says to him, hey, I'll put you on the partner track if you convince my sister, who would have an otherwise promising career, to ditch out on this silly blog and book deal that she's doing. The sister, played by Thora Birch, has this blog where they call her the pig slayer.
Yeah.
And she's got this equation that dictates whether or not someone's going to cheat, which is, okay, that's vaguely interesting.
No,
and
it's
then,
not.
But then there's also this sense of like, oh, and you can't date anyone for longer than 6 months anyway, which that doesn't have anything to do with the equation that she's come up with, but oh, she's smart about figuring equations because she's come up with the equation for the perfect pizza.
She's some like scientist who does like equations for companies, which is supposedly how she can afford to live in
Right.
this giant house by herself.
Right,
She has a giant house.
it's moronic. It's moronic.
Nothing about it makes sense. We should mention who made it. His name is Harvey Lowry. He wrote and directed it. He also has a quick little cameo in it. He's one of the neighbors who like flips out when the stripper is outside, like gardening in slow motion. He's like one of the neighbors with one of the horrible reaction shots. This movie reminded me of The Room in that, like, just the clunkiness of the dialogue and the fact that nobody feels like a real person and just the choices of like blocking and camera angles. So a lot of times people are just standing side by side or even like with their shoulder partly turned away and they're talking like this and the camera is like facing them straight on. And then weird like cutaway reaction choices and then all the production values in all the houses, like they all look like bad knockoffs of like restoration hardware interiors.
It's like if space aliens like who had never actually made a movie and had only really heard about what movies are supposed to be had made a movie.
The music too. There's like tinkly music that is supposed to make us feel good and then be wacky and then feel good again.
Yeah,
go ahead,
which kind of doesn't stop very much.
It's nonstop, yes.
There's that scene where she has the Ferrari that
the sister's
Ferrari that they go driving around. And like at no point does that car go more than 10 miles an hour.
Yes,
right? It's like as if like, hey, we got somebody to lend us their Ferrari, but as long as you guys don't go faster than 15 miles an hour, we can use it. But please, for God's sake, don't actually drive it.
Yes.
And we're gonna follow it. We're gonna have somebody shooting out of the back of a convertible so we can get the shots. We're not gonna show you any other shots, but straight ahead shots of the car because we can't afford a truck to tow it. And
I thought that too. It's like the least thrilling, like wind in your hair car montage ever.
And then they're like putting along when he's driving and she's like, woo, like,
Oh, and their dates, the date montages are terrible too. They have like
they go fishing.
They go fishing and then they ride on like a tandem bike and it's so cheesy the stuff that they do in the dating montage that at that moment I thought, is this a parody of a bad late 90s romantic comedy that, trying to be a 40s screwball comedy? It's just terrible.
Here's what this movie is.
Tell me please, because I don't get it.
Let's say you have a movie that's got, you take a porno, right? That's got a plot to it. And if you cut out all of the sex and just have the plot, that's what this movie is.
Yeah, and that would have better production values. That would have like better
That's
camera
what this
work.
is. This is like porn
better
actors
audio.
trying to actually sell dialogue.
Yes.
And it's like, and they've got this thing in the back of their head like, can we just get to the fucking please? Because that's really what we're good at.
Oh my God, okay, the bachelor party. Oh, so they get engaged and they have this bachelor party at the one restaurant in town. They live in Portland, all right? And they all go to the same restaurant all the time, this Italian restaurant. And the wacky bachelor party is the same little group of friends, like 4 or 5 friends, and some very generic, like guitar-heavy rock song comes on, and 2 of the guys
get up and they're like, "That's my jam," and they're just dancing
and
like.
They're not doing karaoke, but one of the guys is like smacking that ass back and forth or whatever again, like just like, and one guy's just going woo, like that's their bachelor party. It was bizarre.
It was so weird because whatever they're dancing to was clearly not being played on set.
Exactly, because they're like off. They're like.
Then there's like the crazy, like would-be kind of half-assed trap music that they're playing when the strippers show up.
Oh, the stripper scene,
right?
Yes.
The tamest stripper scene you've ever seen.
And there are balloons. There are balloons in the guy's house. There's like balloons and confetti for the strippers.
Right.
Where did they come from? Somebody staged that bachelor party with the chaste strippers.
Yes.
Anyway, nothing makes sense, but it kind of needs to be seen to be believed. And so I'm so pleased that you spent 1 hour and 40 minutes of your life, this did not need to be that long, watching this amazing movie.
This movie did not need to be 1 minute and 40 seconds long.
No, okay, so I'm saying 0. I mean, this is the thing that made me start my worst of list for 2018. This is it, so 0. I know, Matt, you like to say, I'm giving it a 1 because it's in focus, but I can't even necessarily verify that it's always in focus. So for me, it's a 0.
Right, like they're shooting digitally, autofocus. I'm not going to give them credit for that. Nope. So I give it a 0. Boy, it doesn't get any better than this.
So it's a 0 and doesn't really have very many reviews. It only has a couple of reviews out. But really, 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 if you want to laugh, I mean, it's got to be experienced because this movie is terrible. So even though we're giving it a 0.
Right, it's not even so bad it's good. It's so bad it's what the fuck.
We're saying what the fuck here on What the Flick. Bye.